Behind us are 5 pickups currently available at Ottervale Motor Services.
These are all available, and in this video we're going to take them all for a drive and show you the pros and cons between them all. Okay, so we're going to start off with the latest version of the Ford Ranger. So let's take it for a drive and tell you guys all about it. So this is the latest Ford Ranger, and the one we're driving today has actually got a V6 3-litre engine in it. So Adam, what do you think about it? What's your first impressions of the Ranger?
As someone who has very limited experience with pickups, I mean, coming into this, it's a bit not what I was expecting. For me, you see a pickup and you're like, farmer, needs it off-roading. The fact it has that massive infotainment screen, 360 parking cameras, heated and ventilated seats, and even power seats.
Yeah.
For me, it just feels like an accentuated SUV.
Definitely.
Realistically.
Yeah.
Especially like the seating. It has a bit of a old school Land Rover vibe. So it does fit into that rural, remote stereotype that a pickup would be needed for. So for me, it does feel nice.
Yeah, and I think it's been very well thought out from the previous Ranger. All little details just to make everyone's life easier. I think they've listened to the feedback from the previous Ranger, which is one of the most popular pickups anyways in the UK, and they've just improved every element of it, really. I quite like the full digital dash as well. Nice and clear, you can see everything. It's not...
But then old school dial styling on it. I always like that. I don't like it when it's too sci-fi looking.
No, that's
and you have to really like kind of look where your speed is.
Yeah, and I think that's just based on the type of customers who are going to be buying these. Most people don't really like change, I find. And actually, there's been a lot of modernisation within it. But actually, at the same time, it's very relatable to its previous generation, which I think is pretty great.
So even like the air vents, they're the same as the front grille, which is quite a nice touch.
All subtle details around, which is, it's very cohesive. And you've even got a Bang & Olufsen sound system in here, which is, can't complain with that at all. Very premium brand as well to have. So
I think if I was to get a pickup, don't know what I'd need one for. And also I think I'd look stupid climbing in and out of a pickup every day with my stature. But I think this is the interior I kind of want.
Yeah.
I know there are some where you're going for the payload, you're going for the towing capacity and how well it drives off-road rather than, it looks quite nice. But I think if I was to go for one, this would kind of be the style I'd want.
Yeah, definitely. It's just relatable to every, like, if you're coming from a car, or it's very translatable, I would say, the interior, whereas some of the other trucks which we're going to be driving later, it's very bespoke interior, and you can see it's designed for a truck rather than more of a generic user. As you say, if you're going to go and pick the kids up from school or something like that, it's a very comforting, it feels like a car, or as you say, SUV. It feels
like a hybrid pickup without it being an actual hybrid in the sense of the word.
Yeah.
Because you can go off-road, but then equally you could just be stuck to roads and you need to just fill up the back to and from a building site or that sort of thing. It's like an everyday car. Not a runabout, really. It's far from a runabout. It'd be a bit of pain in the backside to be a runabout, really, wouldn't it?
Well, very expensive as well with the V6 that we've got in this one. But speaking of that, it's very smooth to drive, very smooth gearbox. It's just a joy to be in, I would say. It's just very pleasurable. I think having that V6, normally you tend to feel it in the cabin, you tend to feel the vibrations, everything else, but actually the way they've done the engine mounts, and they've made it quite soft, and it's just, and the power delivery is smooth, even, and it just picks up.
Just have a bit of oomph behind it.
Definitely. And you can also hear the air intake, the turbo spooling up, which is quite nice as well.
And it feels smooth for how rugged and sort of big it looks. It's kind of a bit brazen out on the road when you see it's approaching you. You're going to be stand back. But it doesn't kind of drive like that, which I suppose is kind of good. Some people might want it to be a bit more bouncier and a bit stiffer, but...
Yeah, because the tendency with trucks you normally have is, on the back, most trucks have leaf springs, similar to vans, or big vans anyways, and without any weight on the back, normally they're very bouncy and you can feel it all moving around, whereas this has still got leaf springs, but they've done something to the rear in the design where it feels more like a car to drive,
Yeah.
It actually feels very similar to the Ford Raptor as well, even though that has a completely different suspension setup on it. It feels very similar to that to drive. So if you guys have driven it before, you know what to expect with this version.
Quite like as well sat here, it doesn't feel. You are high up, yes, but it kind of doesn't feel too dissimilar from like a large SUV.
No, not at all.
If I was to look at this car, I'd be like, I can't even fathom how I'm going to get about the roads. Right.
And I do find what's really good actually about the Fords compared to some of the other brands, which people may want to know this. So when you're driving the Fords, they let you have fun in a truck. And I know that might sound a bit of a weird thing to say, but they actually allow you to lock the rear differential in any of the driving modes. Whereas when you're in other manufacturers, they don't. They prevent that from happening, or they turn it off once you hit 20 miles an hour or various bits and bobs. Whereas Ford, they're kind of like, you're driving the truck, you know the terrain better than what the vehicle does.
Yeah.
You put it in what setting you want.
Like.
So effectively, you can just put it in two-wheel drive, straight to the back, lock the rear diff, and effectively turn it into a drift car if you really wanted. And luckily with them, you have got enough torque and power, you can actually do that. So
It's cool.
yeah, it's very fun. I did that on a beach up in Snowdonia, which we can drop in some footage if you really want, of doing it in a Raptor, but that's underneath, very similar platform. Yeah, the Fords, they let you actually go out and have fun, which is
Nice.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the bottom line is with the Ford Ranger, the one that we have, it's brilliant to drive, holds the road very well, feels like an SUV, but also has the practicality of being a complete pickup. But with those stats for being a pickup, so you can obviously get this in a 2-litre version as well, which is a bi-turbo. And also the towing capacity for all of the models is 3.5 tons, and you have a bed capacity of 1 ton as well. So very practical, very useful. And then the only other thing really is optional extras, which we can go about. But with those on trucks, there's plenty of optional extras which you can get, ranging from canopies, roller shutters, and anything in between, really. But we can go about all of that when we jump into one of the other pickups later on.
So that was the Ford Ranger. Next up on the list is the Toyota Hilux.
Okay, so we're now in the Toyota Hilux, and this is actually the GR Sport version. So this is the top spec of what we can currently get for the Hilux here in the UK at the moment. So what are your initial thoughts driving it?
I think
on this one?
Initially, it doesn't quite have the same pulling power or smoothness of the Ford. It feels like it doesn't have. The Ford had that quick acceleration where you were putting your accelerator down. It can just had that really good pull away off the line, which you're gonna get is V6. You know, it's a bigger engine, but this just kind of like takes a little bit too long to kick in.
It's got that bit of input lag, hasn't it? It's kind of like, oh, are you sure you want to go? Okay, well.
Where you're like, actually, no, I really need to pull out of this gap because I've been waiting ages. I'm causing a queue, and it just has that bit that kind of would unnerve you. You know, if you're pulling out onto a busy carriageway, and you just need that quick, and it's about 2-3 seconds.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with you on that. It's got this lag input, but apart from that, obviously being the 2.8, it's still got a lot of power underneath. It's still going to be perfectly fine for towing, 3.5 tons, or even throwing a ton in the back. But as you say, it's just got this lag input, and it's not even as if it's like we're waiting for the turbo to spool up. It's just an input lag on it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, actually, comfort-wise, I think it's obviously a little bit more of a utility vehicle in comparison. Yeah. The Ford is obviously very luxurious inside, but with this, I would say that, you know, the plastic's a bit just plasticky. And I know that seems like a silly thing to say, but it's just the money hasn't been spent on the interior, I personally say.
But then I feel like that's not necessarily this vehicle's issue. And you couldn't really call it an issue, but Toyota, I think, they don't really like to splash out on this amazing looking interior. No. I feel like quite often it is, this serves its job. And this certainly does. Like, you have everything you need. You have old school dials, you have a screen, even have a old school clock, which I think is kind of a weird touch when you've got a screen. You could just put the time on there, but
Yeah.
I guess it works. There's loads of storage, manual handbrake, which I think some people might be in preference of rather than having an electric one. So,
Yep.
and with this being the GR Sport, it looks good. Has
Yeah.
the red branding. Maybe more could have been done with the dashboard. I do like this carbon fibre effect. I mean,
Yeah.
I doubt it's real carbon fibre, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But I like how it syncs up to the seats. It looks good.
Yep.
It's just not. It's not quite the Ford, but I don't think Toyota kind of have ever been like that in terms
No,
of wanting
definitely not.
an overly luxury interior.
Yeah, their money's always been spent on engineering, and that's why the Hilux is obviously renowned as one of the most robust pickups out there, which has been thoroughly tested by a lot of people. But they're so robust, the Hiluxes. They're just, yeah, you could drive it through a wall and it would still survive. They're literally built like tanks, these things. And that's why a lot of people just tend to have them.
Yeah.
And that's based on its past as well. A lot of other manufacturers have caught up to the same spec, but I would say that's where the Hilux really does stand out. And I do actually quite like these GR Sport seats with the suede and Alcantara on them.
Yeah, they do look smart.
Yeah, they really do. And it obviously follows through into the rear as well, which, yeah, it's a lovely theme. Definitely.
And I think the input lag is a little bit annoying. But when you've already climbed up to the speed, I think it's absolutely fine. Like,
Yeah.
you can still easily sort of coast up carriageways, and it still feels powerful, like you've said. It's still got smooth suspension. It's not proper bouncing about with
Yeah.
all different bumps in the road, and God knows how many potholes you have to drive over. So I think off-road capabilities would be absolutely fine as well.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't even break a sweat, this off-road. Underneath the dash, you do have all of your buttons, obviously, for your heated seats, but as well as you can lock the rear diff, all of your normal off-road settings, it's all there. And a very popular thing in the Hilux, you have an eco and a power mode, so that will also change how it performs. So we'll try the power mode now and see, because normally it's naturally in an eco mode and it will just kind of switch between. So hopefully this will fix that input lag to
Turtle
feel.
there.
Oh no, that's right, just follow it
Straight.
around.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely has.
Yeah.
You can already feel the difference. That input lag's just like gone.
Yeah. It tries to keep the boost in the turbo to really help with it now. And it lets it rev out more as well. And
Yeah.
but yeah, no, with the
That feels so much better.
yeah, it holds the boost, which is a lot
Yeah.
nicer.
That's quite impressive how different them two are.
Yeah,
Like, have you ever been in a car that has like sport, eco, normal?
yeah,
The eco might be different because it might be, if it's a petrol car, it just might be less noisy. But usually there's only a tiny difference. That feels like a completely different
Oh, yeah.
engine, really.
yeah. And it's the same, not just in this GR Sport. That's the same across
Yeah.
all the other Hiluxes as well. So that's a very popular thing. So if you're towing, it's definitely throw it in the power mode. You're going to have all of the power that is designed for, and yeah, it's going to be, I don't think you even noticed there would be a trailer on the back with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Hilux, I cannot fault it at all. It's just robust. It's durable. It's designed to last, and you tend to find with people who own them, they have them for a lot longer as well. So people with other manufacturers, they rotate their vehicles every 3, maybe 4 years. But with the Hiluxes, it's normally at least 5 or 6. So, and there's obviously a strong reason why, because well, happy customers, but also they're just reliable.
Yeah. I mean, it does, like, the build quality does feel there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And
Just-
one kind of bonus over the Ford is it does have paddle shifters.
Yeah. Which is, I prefer, if I'm honest. It's nice to have that control when you're off-road and manual, where you can swap between the gears, and especially if you're on loose terrain or anything like that, you can help manage the power better as well.
Yeah.
So the external styling, well, for me, I quite like this one because it has the plastic arches on the outside just to give it that wider stance and look. And it has quite an aggressive style with the grille on the front. And obviously being the GR Sport, there's a few little tiny details extra which you've added in. But overall, I think this has got a nice presence on the road. and especially if you added some more bigger off-roading tyres to fill those wheel arches, it really would just look like a tank, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like it's got more almost attention to detail than the Ford. The Ford has this like classy, almost like old school pickup look where it has, you know, that chrome grille, whereas this, with its, you know, being in a white body colour, it has the black on the wing mirrors and the door handles and the wheel arches, so it kind of has that more sportier look to it. In terms of actual aesthetics, I think this is nicer, especially on the exterior.
Yeah.
Interior comfort, I think I would go for the Ford.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you on that. And what's quite nice when they do like a burnt orange colour as well on these Hiluxes, and I think with the black accents, because that's across the range, it just looks great.
Yeah.
In those.
And I suppose it's more what you want to use it for. If you want a pickup that's going to last you 10 years, you'd probably go for this.
Yeah.
If you want something that's going to be comfier that you might rotate in 4 or 5 years, then the Ford's probably the go-to.
Yeah, and even I think down to repair costs. So because obviously trucks do get used in very random parts of the world, but if you're going to like hit the wheel arches or, you know, with stones or the hedges or whatever you're driving through, at least on this, you can easily replace the arches and it's actually probably not going to cost you that much money.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Ford, because they've gone for more of a classier look, you're going to be scratching your paintwork more and stuff like that. And it's that, you know, puts the repair bill up pretty sharp. So replacing just the plastic arches, the ABS plastic, it's cheap to do and also easy to maintain as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more robust than the paintwork getting all scuffed up.
The only thing I really don't like is the cruise control on that stupid little stub that comes out of the steering wheel. There's enough space to fit it on either the left or right panel. Like, there's no need for that 4-arrow section to control through that tiny section of digital dash.
Yeah.
That could be smaller.
It's just an afterthought, I think, with that
think
little stalk.
I feel like the design data, God, no, we need all this. Oh, actually, where are we putting the cruise control?
Yeah.
I'll just put it on this tiny little plastic thing here.
Yeah, we'll take that off one of the other cars and just bolt it on here and hope for the best. Okay, so we now have the Mitsubishi L200. This is the older one because at time of recording this video, the new one has been released 4 weeks ago. Okay, so we're now driving the Mitsubishi L200. And yes, they have actually just brought out the L200 again, Mitsubishi, in, well, about a month prior to us filming this today. But at Ottervale, we do actually have the older versions, which we're driving at the moment, which stopped in around about the year 2020, 2021. And at that time, Mitsubishi decided to pull the L200 from sale and fell from the UK market. Not particularly sure why, but they did. And it was obviously just to get things geared up for their newer version, which they brought out about a month ago. So these older versions, they were very popular, or they still are very popular in the used car market. And because of Mitsubishi initially pulling the L200, the prices for them did drop. But that doesn't actually reflect how good they still are.
I mean, initial thoughts, I've got to say, probably my least favourite so far, but I don't think that's to say this is actually a bad pickup. I think that's more that this is kind of just, right, this is a very practical pickup. It's got a great engine, great payloads. I think can it just give you the basics on the interior? Because that's all we're kind of seeing. You've got a very small infotainment screen. I mean, it seems to have CarPlay and Android Auto, being able to link your smartphone to it, which is a bonus to the actual Hilux.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
So it's not complete bare bones, you do get it in some sense, but like, yeah, climate control panel is very much old school. It doesn't have USB-C, it's USB, but still has heated seats, but just high and low settings. So again, that's a little bit old school.
Yeah, and I would say it's kind of, I wouldn't say outdated, because it's still got all of the modern elements to it, but
has an outdated look in the term of how to use that technology.
Because I find with a lot of vehicles these days, they've updated their interiors drastically over the last couple of years. And unfortunately, you know, go back a few years ago, this still would have looked fairly modern, but in comparison to today's cars and other vehicles, it just feels a little bit on the older side, unfortunately. But it's still durable, tough, you know, we're driving a used one, obviously, at the moment, and there's no wear or tear at all. It's just, even though we've got the leather seats, there's no rips, there's nothing like that. It's all in almost brand new condition still.
Well, because even like I know it's mainly plastic on the doors and the dashboard, but it doesn't feel like the horrible cheap plastic you sometimes get in, you know, like lower end vehicles. It kind of feels like it's almost a mix between leather and plastic.
Yeah.
Like that would just, if you got this dirty, you could clean it, no problem at all.
Yeah, and it still looks, as you say, a lot nicer than most other plastics that they tend to put in cars these days. And comparing it to the Hilux, I would say the interior is much better in here overall. A lot more durable as well. I know another nice thing that you do get on these, on the interior, is on the automatic versions, they do all have paddle shift as well, which is quite nice on the automatics. Just that extra added bonus to have when you're driving off-road. So the exterior styling, I would say, is actually the latest facelift is actually stayed very well into the modern day times. It's still got that squarer, boxy design, and I think it looks great still in this modern day and age.
It looks smart. I don't think you can really complain. I feel like this one of them vehicles that ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't necessarily wow you in any area, but I don't think you're disappointed in any area either.
No, exactly.
It's kind of like middle of the road. Yeah, that's solid. B+.
Yep.
Jobs are good.
Yeah, just like a good all-rounder. There's no major problems with it. There's nothing stand out about it, but it will get the job done, and they're durable. Hence
it's kind of like if you got a Tesco meal deal for your dinner.
Yeah.
Like it's not the best, but it's not the worst. It just does the job.
Tesco. And then another cool thing about them is there's so many different versions as well. So we're driving the Barbarian, but there is a version above this where you get semi-suede seats as well, and Alcantara, and the Barbarian X, that's called. And it's a lot more, that's even more refined again. But we're driving more of the middle of the road version, the Barbarian, and you do also get a Warrior, which that's more designed to be a bit more tough to be off-road, but that's all just the different bodywork and panels and things on it. Then optional extras, obviously you can still have canopies on this, roller shutters, and you can fully kit it out, and these kitted out look really cool. I think they're very cool pieces of kit.
So up next is a pickup that unfortunately has now been discontinued, but is widely available on the used car market, and that is the Nissan Navara.
So really, it almost feels like we're paying homage to this vehicle because it's been fully discontinued. I know they're widely available on the used car market, but you can't get a new one of these. So this interior is, I wouldn't necessarily say it's outdated, but it certainly don't feel modern, which I kind of understand. If Nissan knew they were going to get rid of it, they wouldn't be putting new tech into it. So
no, exactly. And the Navaras, they were really popular when they were in their prime time, and it's a similar story with like the L200s from Mitsubishi, where it was around about that 2019, 2020 phase where they just decided to stop doing them in the UK. But they were really popular because people quite like the way the bonnet shape is, where it bulges over the sides and you feel like you have more of this presence on the road. And there were a lot of more optional extras for these to effectively pimp them up and to help exaggerate that large presence, I guess, on the roads. But the other interesting thing about this is Mercedes do a pickup as well, and that's exactly the same as the Navara. They shared everything exactly the same, even right down to the steering wheel. They just put a different badge on it. And the only thing that was different on the Mercedes is that it had different bodywork on the outside, just to make it look a little bit more Mercedes rather than Nissan. So there's the fun fact about the Navara. So two ways you look at it. You used to drive a Mercedes if you have a Navara, or if you drive a Mercedes, I'm really sorry that you're driving a Nissan Navara. I think these drive really smooth, actually.
It does feel nice. I feel like this might drive better than the Hilux, because even when this being an eco, I don't think it has too much of a lag, input lag compared to that Toyota. So, I mean, corners are great. Suspension actually feels quite firm, really. It doesn't feel too kind of obnoxious or stiff. Yeah.
I feel like this is definitely more of a road car. It has got soft suspension, as we're noting now, going through the corners, but off-road, that would definitely help as well. So you do compromise on your general day-to-day road driving, but these aren't designed to be on the normal roads. They're more for tracks and everything else. So they do soak up the bumps really well, and yeah, I think they drive brilliantly, in all fairness. It's a shame that the Nissan did actually stop making these, because I think their generation, if they carried on, would have been a massive step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, and I think the look and feel of it certainly does feel more of like an off-road pickup rather than kind of one you'd mainly be sticking to roads and you just need a larger vehicle. It does feel more like a, what could you say, a farmer's pickup in that sense. But I've got to say, I do like the actual interior and exterior look, especially with this being in a black body paint.
Yeah.
Everything kind of syncs up because the door handles are chrome with the black body paint, which kind of links up to the interior with these different silver strips around the entertainment screen and on the steering wheel.
Yeah, it's a very cohesive kind of design all throughout, and I don't think it's actually outdated that badly in comparison to some of the other ones. And it's quite a clean interior look. You haven't got all of these chunky sections. It's just a very smooth, quite a natural environment, I would say.
Yeah, it's not kind of been overdone. It's just like, yeah, there's your screen, there's your dashboard, there's your climate controls, and there's kind of nothing really going on that your side of the dashboard. But does a pickup need it?
No, exactly. I don't think it does. It's got everything that you just need in it, nothing too fancy. And even looking at the actual digital screen here, it's just clearly laid out, no problems at all. Obviously you get your DAB radio and your cameras and your sat nav and so on. It's, yeah, I quite like it really with the Navara. So yeah, there's not many fun things left to say about the Navara. It's pretty similar, bare bones. You've nothing too fancy about them.
No.
You got nice robust leather seats in here, a nice robust dashboard, everything else, all the materials used. Again, it's similar to the Mitsubishi, where it's obviously plastic, but it feels a little bit leathery to a certain degree, where there's a bit more of that premium plastic
rather than that horrible scratchy plastic.
Yeah, and I think that's, if we're comparing it to the Hilux, where it's a shame, it kind of shows that the Hilux they've skimped out on the interior a bit, if I'm honest, in the grand scheme of things. But no, I think this is an all-rounder. And then these are still very popular at Otter Vale as well in the second-hand market. And another thing is, because they are discontinued, you can actually get a lot of truck for a lot for your money, really. And they are generically on the lower priced area of pickup trucks in the used market. However, don't let that put you off though that it's discontinued, because the used parts section, or getting spare parts, or if you ever had any issues, or if you still want to upgrade your truck, there's a massive network still out there to pimp it up and to make it bespoke just for you. So I don't think it being discontinued is a problem.
No.
At all. I think it's you can get a lot of truck for not much money, and I think they're pretty much a good bargain if you can get hold of one these days, because even when we have them in for sale, they tend to sell pretty quickly, and we kind of have almost a waiting list for them. So yeah,
and really they do seem to hold up fairly well. I mean, this has done almost 48,000 miles.
Yeah.
Unsure how long it's actually kind of not been driven for, but it still picks up speed. I mean, back there, I'd look down, 1 minute I was doing 40, the next 60. It does have a good bit of sort of progression. Not initial, off the line it has that like lag, but once you start building up,
it's quite a linear feeling, isn't it, all the way through?
Just gradually builds up quite well, really.
Really smooth gearbox as well. You don't get that clunk in between gears, and it's just, it's just a really smooth and nice drive. Even if you're just casually driving down the road, or even if you're taking it off-road, this is, a pretty well-built truck. You can't, I don't think you can go wrong with it at all.
No, I don't think you could argue against it, kind of in any sense.
And I would say, if you're new to the truck world and you've never driven a truck or had one, and you want to try a truck without spending fortunes on one, I would possibly say the Navara is your best bet.
Great, like entry level starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, you would then possibly change into one of the other models. But no, I think it's a pretty robust truck. You cannot go wrong with the Navara. And lastly, we have the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. Here at Otter Vale, we have used ones as well as brand new ones here. Okay, so finally we have the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. Here at Ottervale Motor Services, we do have a wide range of them, used and also new. So if you're interested in any of those, check it out on the links in the description below. But today we're driving the manual variant of this one, and I must say it's really nice to drive. Okay, so starting with the interior, we have the leather cap dashboard, leather steering wheel, and the leather door cards.
For me, it does look very smart, and I feel like it's kind of in the middle ground in terms of design anyway, between the Navara and the Hilux, and the Hilux kind of has the more design, the Navara is more practicality. I think this is kind of the best of both worlds in that sense.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
practical for what it is. I mean, it's got the tech that you need, albeit it's not the most glamorous looking infotainment screen or digital dash.
Yeah,
serves its purpose though, has that modern look, and I think overall it just feels smart. You have like lots of different storage pockets throughout it. Yeah, it serves the job.
and then you also have the cup holders under the vents, which is quite nice.
Yes, I always like them.
Yeah,
I think they're
great.
quite cool. It's almost like a hidden compartment.
Yeah, you can keep the interior looking rather clean, and it's purposeful. So when you need something, it's there,
Yeah.
and you can use it. But yeah, but then also then moving on to the exterior, I actually quite like the styling of the new V-Crosses. I think they're really cool. You've got nice angular design. It's very modernised, and I think when you add extra accessories onto it, it really enhances the look of it as well.
Yeah, it's almost like a case of pimp my ride. You kind of have like
Yeah.
the naked body of the D-Max V-Cross, whack some accessories on it, and it kind of just feels like a completely different vehicle.
Yeah, even some subtle ones, and they don't even have to be the most expensive ones. For example, like even the bonnet protector, the wheel arches, and just the wind deflectors on the side, they make a huge impact onto the styling of it, and they don't cost much either.
No.
But if you guys want some accessories, they're available on the links in the description below as well. Okay, so the actual driving of it, so we're on some windy roads at the moment, and we do just have the standard road tyres that come with it, the Dunlop AT25s. But actually, it holds the road very well. It's a very smooth, a very comfortable ride, and actually it's not too noisy inside the cabin either, which is a great added bonus. The suspension, again, is like most of the other trucks. It has leaf springs on the back, but all of the suspension can be upgraded with Pedder's suspension as well, and that completely transforms it again.
I mean, it does feel smooth. It doesn't feel massively bumpy. So I think overall, it's kind of the running theme. They all just kind of serve the purpose.
Yeah.
And it all ultimately seems, when it comes to this pickup range, about what you're going to use it for, how much you want to spend, and what you kind of like aesthetics-wise.
Yeah.
For me, that feels like the only difference between them. They all have, great power. They all drive well and offer loads of practicality.
Yeah.
So whether you want something that's a bit more boisterous and that modern, you'd go for the Ford. If you kind of just want a pickup for what it is, and you're going to keep it for a long time, you go for the Navara.
That's exactly it. And everyone has their own personal preferences of what they like, and wherever their 4x4 journey kind of started, they tend to stay within those. So if your first one was a Ford Ranger, you naturally tend to stay with that without moving to any of the other manufacturers. But luckily at Ottervale, if you wanted to come and test drive different versions, or you're looking to swap, then feel free to come and try them all out and actually experience them, because we want to find the right pickup for you guys rather than just what you're used to, so to speak. But do you have a personal preference on which one you would go for?
If money wasn't an option, because I feel like it's probably the more pricey one, I'd go for the Ford.
Yeah.
I think just the interior, even just like the look of the seats and the dashboard, it looks cool.
Yeah. No, I would almost agree with you on that, but I quite like personally the one that we're driving, the Isuzu, only because, not the fact that we are a brand new Isuzu garage, but personally for me, I find it's actually a couple of accessories onto those can really enhance the look. But it's all preference on how you feel. I agree with you, the Ford, very luxurious. I think if you're doing more generic driving, that's great, but I think if you're going more hardcore off-roading, which is what I prefer naturally, I think the Isuzu for me, but that's what I'm more familiar with initially, so that's probably where I've got more of a bias on the answer on that one.
So then, that was the roundup of these 5 pickups currently behind us. Question is, which one would you go for?
These are all available here at Otter Vale Motor Services, so if you're interested, check it all out on the link in the description down below.
There you go.
Nearly messed that then.